You think women are attracted by clever lines, perfect timing, and the desperate performance of a man trying not to lose his chance. But what pulls them in most is usually the exact opposite. A man who is not trying to force anything. If you need reminders like this, subscribe now, because you do not need more fantasy, more dating tricks, or more comfort. You need truth on repeat until your standards rise high enough to change your life. The 2 words are, no rush. And before your ego shrugs that off, because it sounds too simple, listen carefully. It is simple. That is why weak men miss it. They are always hunting for complexity because complexity lets them hide. Complexity lets them keep pretending they are confused. But here is what it really means when a man says no rush and actually lives it. I want what I want, but I do not need to chase, beg, over-explain, or collapse into panic to get it. That is the signal, not the words themselves, the state behind them. Because women are not just listening to what comes out of your mouth. They are reading your nervous system. They are reading your pace, your restraint, your eyes, your timing, your silence. They're asking one question, consciously or unconsciously. Does this man have a center, or does he disappear the moment he feels desire? Most men disappear. The second they like a woman, they start auditioning. They text too much. They explain themselves too much. They give too much access too soon. They become hyper-available, hyper-reactive, hyper-invested in an outcome that has not even earned that level of emotion yet. That is not romance. That is anxiety in a suit. That is insecurity wearing manners. That is called neediness. And neediness is loud. It says, choose me so I can feel valuable. Reply so I can relax. Want me so I can want myself. That is the hard truth most men do not want to hear. You are not getting rejected because you care. You are getting rejected because your care is contaminated by urgency. It is not clean. It is not grounded. It is not strength. It is emotional dependence disguised as interest. Why does that happen? Because too many men never built a life they respect. So when a woman appears, she does not become part of their life. She becomes the center of it. They do not approach from fullness. They approach from lack, from loneliness, from ego hunger, from the fantasy that if this woman chooses them, all the doubt finally goes quiet. But it never works like that. Because the moment your value depends on her response, you have already handed your power away. Now she can feel it. She feels the pressure in your words, the leaning, the silent contract, the unspoken plea. Please don't disappoint the version of myself I built around you. That is too much weight for any connection to carry. And it costs you more than attraction. It costs you your self-respect. You stop leading your own life. You stop thinking clearly. You stop observing and start chasing. You stop asking whether she is right for you and start obsessing over whether you are enough for her. You stop moving like a man with direction and start moving like a man begging for permission. That shift is everything. One posture says, I choose carefully. The other says, please choose me. Women feel that difference immediately. Presence versus pressure, groundedness versus grasping, reality versus fantasy. So when an older man says no rush and it lands, it is not because he memorized a line from the internet. It is because his whole life already says it. His tone says it. His boundaries say it. His schedule says it. His standards say it. He is not rushing intimacy. He is not rushing attachment. He is not rushing commitment. He is not rushing to prove himself to someone who has not earned access to the deepest parts of him. That man is attractive because he is already rooted. He is the man who does not cancel his purpose to entertain uncertainty. He is the man who enjoys a woman without orbiting her. He is warm but not flimsy, interested but not consumed, open but not easy to destabilize. He listens fully. He speaks directly. He does not perform masculinity. He embodies it. He is not trying to dominate. He is trying to remain. That is a different kind of power. Quiet, clean, rare. He does not chase constant reassurance. He does not flood the space because he is uncomfortable with silence. He does not negotiate against himself for crumbs of attention. If she is consistent, he meets consistency. If she is unclear, he notices. If she pulls away, he does not sprint after confusion. He lets reality speak. That is called discernment. And discernment is seductive because it shows self-respect. You want to know what female psychology often responds to? Emotional safety without weakness, desire without desperation, strength without hostility. A man who can want deeply and still remain steady. A man who is not trying to own her, impress her, or emotionally trap her. A man whose interest feels real because it is not contaminated by panic. That is what no rush communicates when it is genuine. It says, I am not here to manipulate the moment. I am here to see clearly. I am here to enjoy what is real. I am here to let connection reveal itself instead of trying to force it into existence. And if it is right, it will deepen. If it is not, I will still be standing. Do you understand how powerful that is? Not because it gets women, because it gets you back. So do this. Slow your pace, not to play games. To tell the truth. Stop sending the extra message your fear wants to send. Stop volunteering emotional intensity before trust exists. Stop trying to lock in certainty from people you barely know. Redirect that energy into your body, your work, your discipline, your standards. When you feel the urge to chase, pause. When you feel the urge to over-explain, cut the sentence in half. When you feel the urge to prove your value, remember that value proven too early usually signals value not believed. Speak clearly. Move calmly. Let people reveal themselves. Ask yourself better questions. Not, how do I make her like me? Ask, do I even like the version of myself I become around this person? Not, how do I keep her attention? Ask, why is my peace so easy to trade for attention? Not what line should I use? Ask, what kind of man do I need to become? So my energy speaks before my words do. That is the real work. And once you do that work, those two words stop being a tactic and start becoming your nature. No rush, no panic, no performance, no self-abandonment. You become harder to manipulate because you are no longer negotiating with your loneliness. You become more attractive because attraction is often the byproduct of congruence. You say what you mean. You mean what you say. You do not speed up to avoid being left. You do not shrink to be accepted. You do not beg to become fantasy. You face what is. And that changes everything. Because the man women remember is rarely the loudest man, the smoothest man, or the most aggressive man. It is the man who made them feel that he was completely there, completely honest, and completely unshaken by the need to force an outcome. The man who could desire without collapsing. The man who could walk away without bitterness. The man whose attention felt valuable because it was not thrown at everyone. The man who respected himself enough to move slowly. Become that man. Not for the performance. Not for the dating app. Not for the ego hit. For your life, for your name, for the peace you feel when you know you are no longer living like a starving man emotionally begging the world to feed him. You are not behind. You are not broken. You do not need better tricks. You need a stronger center. You need to remember that your calm is power. Your standards are power. Your restraint is power. Your self-respect is power. You are not here to chase your worth through other people. You are here to build a life, a body, a mind, and a presence that make desperation unnecessary. You are the answer. And if you want more truth like this, subscribe because you need this kind of clarity until it becomes identity, not just motivation. Stay close to this community if you are serious about becoming a man who does not beg for validation, does not run from reality, and does not forget who he is the moment he feels desire. Here.